In a shock U-turn, Housing Secretary Michael Gove has insisted that Section 21 evictions will be outlawed in England by the next general election. Should you be worried? Is Michael Gove full of hot air?
You promised in 2019 in your manifesto that you were going to get rid of what's called Section 21, where landlords can evict tenants for no reason.
Yes.
It hasn't happened yet. Can you guarantee the 11 million renters in this country that you will end this before the general election?
Yes, we have a bill. It's gone through its stages in the House of Commons, and that bill does a number of things to help people in the private rented sector, including ending no-fault evictions.
To investigate this, I've spoken to quite a few people in the industry, and my findings are quite alarming. Even before the announcement, statistics showed that over half of UK landlords have tried to sell a property in the last 12 months alone. And in London, 98% of estate agents reported they had landlords currently selling properties. Even if you look at the cold hard data, according to HMRC annual returns, between 100 to 150,000 landlord properties exited the market last year alone. So landlords are clearly suffering. Will this be the final nail in the coffin? Will Section 21 being abolished kill the buy-to-let property market? Will the landlords that survive thrive? Will tenants even be any better off? Well, in this short video, we find out. If you have any interest in property or property investing, this information is key. Now, first, let me share a little secret. Promise not to shoot me if you're a tenant renting right now. I am actually a landlord. Like this video if you're a landlord. I spent the last 11 to 12 years building a UK-wide home buying company, estate agency, and my own personal property portfolio. So not only does that give me an insider track on information, but quite literally reading the market correctly is essential to mine and my client's success. So for those of you that don't know, what is Section 21 and why does everyone hate it? In a 10-second nutshell, Section 21 is no fault evictions. So if you're a landlord, you can give any of your tenants 2 months notice for any reason, which obviously sounds a bit harsh in theory. If I just don't like you, I could just serve you a Section 21 and force you out of any of my properties if I wanted to. And the problem is, it is this simplistic definition that is giving Section 21 a bad name in my view. And I'll explain what I mean by that in just a second. Because right this second, I'm just bracing myself for the tidal wave of trolls that are about to attack and abuse me with comments below. The reality is, guys, the most common reason for landlords to issue Section 21 notices are for reasonable reasons. There, I've said it. Now, before those of you that now hate me decide to not hear me out, give me a second to explain, because I have a feeling if you hear me out, I'll show you how we're actually all on the same team here. The most common 4 reasons landlords issue Section 21 notices are: 1, landlords are selling the property; 2, the tenant isn't paying rent, e.g. rent arrears; 3, antisocial behaviour of tenants; 4, tenants staying put in order to be rehoused by the council. So that 4th one is an interesting one, because if a tenant can't afford the rent and needs to be housed by the council, if they just move out, they have voluntarily made themselves homeless, and therefore the council won't house them as quickly, which is ridiculous. If the tenant can prove they've been issued a notice by the landlord and that eviction proceedings have started, then the council is obligated to house them before they become homeless. So I'm hoping we can all agree, if a landlord is issuing notice for any of those reasons, that is pretty reasonable. And in reality, all 99% of landlords want is an easy, effective way to evict tenants for reasonable reasons. That's it. So what happens when Section 21 is abolished? It means landlords will have to serve Section 8 rather than Section 21. So what the hell is the difference between them? Well, with Section 8, you have to give a legal reason to evict a tenant, whereas Section 21 You don't, and that is the key difference. The reason that matters is because with Section 8, you have to prove a legal reason to evict a tenant. And that means you then have to go through a legal process to do that, which involves a court hearing. Now, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and landlords wouldn't mind that either, if the Section 8 legal process was quick and straightforward. The reality is the court system just can't handle all those Section 8 notices and process them efficiently. And so what do landlords do instead? They take the shortcut of issuing Section 21. That shortcut is actually helping the court system right now. And if you get rid of that shortcut without a tangible alternative, what happens is complete chaos and gridlock. That is the reality. And if you don't believe me, the government themselves have previously said a ban on Section 21 cannot be enacted until the court system is improved. A position supported by the National Residential Landlords Association themselves. So why the hell are the government U-turning now? Comment below with why you think the government are U-turning, but I think they are doing anything and everything to win votes. Before the general election this year, Conservatives are drastically behind, and in reality, they're doing anything they can to win public confidence, including shoehorning headline policies before they're ready, in order to win votes. I know those of you renters love the headline of abolishing no-fault evictions, but until the legal system is improved to make Section 8 work the way it should, you will be screwing yourselves. And before I explain why, it's important to realise that when Section 21 was introduced in 1988, the rental sector boomed and rents dropped because the knowledge that landlords can take back their properties easily encourage landlords to come into the market, thereby increasing supply and lowering prices for tenants. If costs are lower for landlords, costs will be lower for tenants. And if we make renting more difficult for landlords, as is happening, landlords are going to leave the market. Supply of rentals is going to fall, as they have been already, and therefore prices are then going to rise even higher for tenants, as they have been already. Before some of you shout at me and say, but if you greedy landlords sell up, it will make it easier for us tenants to buy. Hear me out in this next section, because what is the real solution? To understand the solution, we need to understand the problem. And here it is. We just aren't building enough new homes. We need to build, baby, build. The government, both Labour and Conservative, have consistently not hit government targets on building new homes, which is what is creating the housing shortage and pushing up prices for everyone. It's not complicated, guys. If we don't have enough homes, prices go up and rents go up. Scrapping Section 21 won't work because it won't help with the housing shortage, which is caused by a failure to build more houses because of a outdated, slow planning system. More regulations, in my opinion, would just make things worse. All Michael Gove is doing is deflection. Have the tenants fight the landlords, when in reality, we should all be pressuring any government to build more homes. So is buy-to-let dead? Without doubt, property investing is tougher, but something being tougher does not mean it can't be lucrative. The days of buying anything and it being worth double 10 years later are over. However, if you're prepared to jump through hoops and build a business around adding value to property, creating a high-yielding portfolio, property can still be hugely profitable, as it is for me. We are entering the dawn of the professional landlord. The passive landlord is becoming a dying breed. Before you go, YouTube are convinced you're going to like this video up here. And just before you click it, subscribe to see more of me. See you up here.